Okay, the importance of FOM, figure of merit. FOM, banana, FOM. The purpose of this video is to finally just knock this crap off of its pedestal where it belongs and put it back down in the realm of equally weighted alongside other specs of lesser, equal, or more importance, or near more importance. So this is some data from the most critical specs off of the intensifier tube in question for the video tonight, and you have other videos to reference this from the YouTube channel, including NNVT 2 tubes, 24 UA, like $14,500, $15,000 duals that have 27 FOM, 2991 FOM. But this is one of the nicest looking tubes I've seen in some time, and the figure of merit, or FOM, is only 2029. And people are like, oh my god, it's not even 2100 FOM, and I just sit there in amazement. So yeah, we're gonna go pick up this device out of this blast magazine safe and secure it, take it outside, because it's like a black hole tonight, exceedingly dark. And wrong key. Damn it. Just forgive me. Okay. There it is. Alrighty. I have the shutter off on the camera because we're walking by some things that are not to be shown on the internet. Now we're stepping outside, right next to the machine gun and heavy weapons test range. And it is pitch black, and we are in the middle of nowhere. We are currently adjacent to our 4,290 acre training compound. Open the shutter back up, and it looks like it's never moved because it's so damn dark out here. Let me pan right, pan left, all the way around. All right, and it is time to turn this night vision device on. Okay. There we go. And this is 2029 FOM. The horrible tube with insanely crisp clarity. Let me turn the gain down a little bit on it. Oh, shit. We've got the gain down about 30%. And that same sky where you couldn't see any stars, you can now see like a ton of them. And there's blinking lights off in the distance. Our red tower from about 5.2 miles away as the crow flies from the Florida Power and Light Facility in North Martin County, Florida. Not the fence right behind the dually truck, but the fence and woodline way off in the distance there, according to the laser rangefinder, is 691 yards away. So at just under 700 yards, you can make out the individual bushes and palm canopies, mind you, on a pitch black freaking night. So the clarity on this is just insane. But it's only 2029 FOM. It's like 2000 FOM. I don't have enough FOM, bro. Well, yeah. Because I see people, me and my guys were talking about this all this week that just passed. And I'm going to kill this and get to the meat and potatoes of the video. We see people that they basically call, place, hey, I want PVS 31 alphas, but I'm willing to pay a little bit more if I can get a really, really cherry set of high FOM tubes. Well, Mr. John Q. Night Vision buyer, we've got 2376, we've got 2410, we've got 2409, we've got 2512, and, you know, we've got some that are over 2,000 FOM. They're $900, $1,000, whatever less, and we've got one pair in the back of the safe that's 2820 or 2920 FOM. But they're $2,500 more because it's the last pair we have, and you get what you pay for, and you have to have that ultra high FOM, because if not, your image is going to totally suck. And these people just shell out their money, and it's just like, what the hell? Because they believe that figure of merit, or FOM, is the end-all be-all spec, or it's one of the most important specs you can possibly consider, when in reality, if you talk to anybody who's been in the business, and I mean a technician, not somebody who sells night vision, but somebody who works in a clean room, or has worked in a clean room, or has toured the inside of Elbit and had to do the 90-day pre-security background check to wait to get authorization to go to certain parts of the building that are not by any means open to the public, and have a better understanding of how these devices are manufactured and the miracle of nanotechnology that an image intensifier technically is. This particular tube has an extremely low EBI, very low halo, and a solid 31 and change 32 signal to noise ratio. Those three specs alone, and the line pair per millimeter of 64 line pair per millimeter resolution numbers are not amazing, but they're very good. They're a very solid base number. And to get an image that nice with what you just saw with a 3-year-old shitty cell phone that I'm recording this on up against a mil-spec Carson glass and housing PVS 14, speaks volumes about the quality of night vision you can buy without even hitting that SOCOM 2376 FOM. In fact, if you talk to anybody there, again, who's been in the business for a long time, figure of merit wasn't even something that existed, as far as it existed, but it wasn't used to quantify how good night vision was 6-7 years ago. It's just, strictly speaking, a way with which to multiply two numbers on a data sheet together, your center resolution with another precursor component number, to calculate your export control and ITAR compliance numbers for other export countries out of the U.S. into, Israel, at the moment Ukraine, or Poland, or, Belarus, or Bosnia, wherever. Each country has its own rating assigned to it of the quality and the figure of merit and a couple other factors of night vision. And there's tons of technical manuals out there that, if you do your homework and dig, will reference this when you look into export control and ITAR, as we're a 0702 automatic weapons manufacturer, NFA manufacturer. And our sister company deals with ordnance and things that go boom. We deal with export and ITAR all the time. And when you used to buy a night vision tube before, a certain large name company made this most recent trend, well, one of many most recent trends that are what I call bullshit sales gimmicks to get people to pay more for the same device. I have a friend of mine, he's like, I just bought the new Super Gain tubes. I only paid $3,000 more. And I just looked at him in disbelief, and I'm like, again, do you know what Super Gain is? Well, yeah, man, the tubes they're clearer and you can see more. And I'm like, they're a little brighter as a result of input data voltage being increased from a certain envelope of, or a certain operating envelope to that number plus another 30-40%, I believe, without pulling the numbers up in front of me. And you paid 31%, 3% more because you wanted a brighter tube, which is like adding a boost feature to your gain knob on your manual gain. Does it help you see in certain situations? Potentially. With a very, very, very small set of circumstances, yes. But does that justify the price in our opinion? Absolutely not. Not when someone wants, a $5,000 PVS 14 loaded with everything, a Wilcox and a J-arm or whatever, and that same tube is now $6,700. There's no damn way. Sorry. We call bullshit. Along with a lot of these other so-called night vision, technical, tactical, super duper SEAL Team 6, Rainbow 6 experts that only know the magical secret formula because some guy at L3 or Elbit snuck it out of the bag and handed it to them in their cargo pocket in an envelope. It's just a bullshit sales gimmick to get you to separate more of your hard-earned money from your wallet. with this night vision tube I just used to film this video, any door kicker, Delta operator, etc. would be tickled to death with a tube with, you know, that kind of resolution. You know, in the global war on terror, if you had nods this nice, you were you were a bad mofo. And again, this isn't even the 2376 so-called PVS 31 Alpha L3 minimum SOCOM contract, yada yada yada. But when I see people, and my guys see people, they're like, well, it's only 2400 FOM, and yeah, it's a PVS 31, or a this or a that, or a, you know, insert your dual tube device. We have a video on this channel. You can go back and look in there. 24 UA, 27 and change FOM, I believe. And they're a nice ass set of tubes, but they're not that nice because they're 2700 FOM. The specs that go alongside those are very, very amazing as well. And because it's an aviation grade tube and it's an 8 of 8 on L3's lower to higher scale of, you know, spot spec on spec sheets, and the scrutiny of the glass and the clarity of the lens and the optic itself versus the intensifier tube and its ability to you know, collate that light and collect that light with its photocathode numbers, make it a slam dunk set. But that's the same set that somebody would pay $3,000 or $4,000 more for because it's got 27 or 2800 FOM. Well, this is 2000 FOM, and it absolutely stumps a mud hole in the ass of a lot of other devices that most people would pay quite a bit more for, 20, 30+% more for. And you know, the figure of merit is something all these people get hung up on that are, you know, not actual experts. And the so-called experts are like, you got to have high FOM, bro. It's just, it's a shitty fucking merry-go-round of middle fingers to get on. Again, you can have 1800 to 2000 FOM and have a very, very proper device that you can see literally hundreds of yards on a very low light night with, as long as you have the other subordinated specs on the spec sheet, your image data sheet. Again, low EBI, 1.2-ish or under, you're doing great. 26 to 28 SNR, you have an okay device. 30 or higher, you're doing pretty damn good. 32 and higher, you're, again, the last pair of duals we did a video on were 37.9, I believe. And again, those are slam dunks. But, you know, it's like a 4 or 5-legged bar stool or chair. You know, any one of those legs doesn't compromise the device traditionally in its quality to the point where it goes from a great to a horrible device, you know, but it does, it's a couple of components, you know. It's like your transmission turns the torque, you know, from the, you know, your camshaft, which is a byproduct of the, you know, the cylinders and the firing sequence of the engine itself. And, you know, each one of these things has a little job it does that is part of the, you know, the net system. But the 4 or 5 specs that I tell people to look for if they want a good solid device that'll make them very happy are EBI, photocathode sensitivity, minimum of 64 line pair per millimeter is a good benchmark. Figure of merit, 1800 or better, and again, you're doing great. And a lot of people don't want to hear that because a lot of these salespeople tell you that you're getting a horrible, that you don't want 1800 FOM. You know, for $2,000 more, I can make your PVS 14, you know, at 2500 FOM. Well, okay. But when I show the customer the 25 or 2700 FOM device next to this L3 in my hands, or a 1900 FOM device, and they can't tell it apart to the point where they think the one that's, you know, 20% less money because of the rating of the tube is the expensive one, well, you know, did you really just get value for your $2,500 increase in price if you can't tell the difference? So, or whatever number it may be, $1,100 more if it's a PVS 14. But I know that we have a set of high voltage towers that are 1.4 miles away that I can see all day long with the, or all night long, I should say, with these. And again, if I can see a buzzard or an owl land on a high voltage, you know, basically a big ass telephone pole that's 5 stories tall at 1.4 miles away in the middle of the night with no clouds, zero moonlight, and a few stars in the sky at best, I'm happy. As a customer, as a buyer, I've got my money's worth, and I don't have to spend 14, 13 grand to get it. And again, 95% of people can't tell that set of duals from the super fancy 1 out of 1,000, you know, Gotta have high FOM. Gotta have high FOM. My tube's 1,000 FOM points higher. Yeah, well, what if your SNR is shitty and your EBI is 5 times the number? Well, they don't want to talk about that. But just basically common sense, you know, don't let people get you so... They want to spin your head around and make it... They want you to feel like, oh my God, this complicated spec sheet is Mandarin Chinese, and without this expert technician's help who's going to do me a great deal and, you know, charge me $20 million for this device, I can't, you know, possibly get a good deal. And it's just, that's bullshit, and that's just not the case. So, shop smart, shop wisely, do your homework, and, you know, follow the 5 basic common sense rules of night vision buying. Number 1, don't buy from some asshole in his garage building tubes with a rubber mallet and a, you know, and a punch. Deal with a real company. Has the company been around for 8 to 10 years or longer? Yes. Oh, okay, good. We've only been around for 2 years. Well, sorry, I'd rather go with the... How are you going to warranty a device for 10 years if you don't know if you're going to make it to year 3? 85% of businesses in this industry, in the sporting goods industry, and tactical industry, go bankrupt in 1 to 3 years. So how are you going to honor a 10-year warranty if you haven't made it 3 or 2? Again, just a little common sense mathematics you can do on a cocktail napkin in 20 seconds. Number 2, you know, do you have a warranty on your device? Yeah, okay, cool. Can I see it? Like, can you walk me through exactly what the warranty covers? Different manufacturers have different warranties. Low Light Innovations, they have a no bullshit warranty. You can, I'm not going to say you can drop your nods out of a skyscraper and never replace them, but they've honored warranties that nobody else would for the most part. Elbit has a great warranty. L3, they have a great warranty, but they have a 209-day turnaround time at the moment, which is like insane, but that's L3. Their biggest customer is the U.S. Defense Department. But, you know, and so on and so forth. So understand the warranty you're getting. Not just somebody who says, well, it has a warranty. Oh, why? Because I say so. Well, that won't hold up in a court, you know, or, you know, in a deposition, or if your device breaks. Well, I didn't tell you that. Some guy that works, the manager told you that? Oh, he didn't work here. I fired him a week ago. Well, sorry, you should have had luck. Good luck. And you just dropped $7, $8, $9, $10, $12, $13,000. Yeah, no. Another question that's very important is your guy asking you questions? Initially into the conversation, once you tell him what you're thinking, he should be asking you no less than 7 to 8 common sense questions. That is if he gives a shit about doing something more than just selling you whatever he has laying around. Because it just so happens to be the absolute perfect device for you. What a coincidence. You know, I'm not going to sell a pair of ultralight brittle nods that can't take a hit or a hard impact to a SWAT team. Conversely, I'm not going to charge a guy who's going to go for walks with his dog in the woods at night $13,000 for a PVS 31 Alpha when he can deal with something for, you know, 30-40% less and then some. And things of that nature. You know, if they're not asking you questions, they're just like, oh, another damn customer calling, let me try and get their money. And that's, quite frankly, how a lot of these idiots work. And one of the other, you know, of the 5 more important rules, I believe we're on number 4 now. What kind of social media presence do they have? And I don't mean like, you know, they put out videos all the time. I mean, if you go through the threads and you see a lot of deleted shit from customers, chances are that's because the customers have called out their bullshit. Or these companies that are always out here looking for, they're always in some drama, or they're talking shit, or they're just looking for their, you know, hey, look at me, give me attention. Yeah, I'm a night vision, tactical, fancy schmancy, SEAL Team 6, door-kicking, CIA, ATF, FBI instructor guy. Avoid those people like the fucking plague. Because God help you if you need any help or customer service when they shit on your device and send some half-assed piece of shit out the door. I could tell an example, 2 examples from just this past week and the week and a half before that. So this week passed and 2 weeks passed before that, of one company who just absolutely shit on their customer, and they're a big, quote-unquote, big name, well-known name company. But I'm not going to mention any names on here, but the particular person that runs the company has a very acute Dionysian versus Apollonian view on things, and I'll just leave it at that. But customers are not people that invest their hard-earned money with that person's company. They're just walking dollar signs. And, you know, again, when they ship your device, they say, is this fully insured? Yeah, okay. Because if it isn't and something happens, and I've seen this several times, Well, you didn't ask me to fully insure it. Why? Well, because it's $200 to fully insure and overnight a pair of $15,000 goggles. So someone's got to pay for that, and you shouldn't have a problem paying for it if you're getting quality. If they're not willing to pay for it, I mean, that's a matter of your choice. But but avoid like the fucking plague people that have those 10-foot tall sensitive egos that they're always out here uploading videos of them, and like they buy a $5,000 rifle and they put 10 rounds through it, but they have 4,000 photos of it on Instagram. The people that are just I got my clout, bro. The people that we work with, like not my company, but other companies we do business with that help us out, we need to, send students to them. You would never sit next to someone at a bar and know they are who they are. They're the most humble, just down-to-earth, normal, next-door neighbor kind of guys you'd ever want to meet. And they'll give you the shirt off their back. They're decent, good moral turpitude-having human beings. And yeah, that's basically it. Again, ask if you can come. Oh, that's the last thing. Ask if you can come by the facility. Call them on the phone, regardless of your area code. They might not think you live next door to them or nearby, but you can tell them, yeah, I live right around the corner. I just moved here. You mind if I come by and check out a couple devices? And if the answer is anything other than absolutely, hell yeah, or when can you come by? That's usually a red flag, because, Billy Bob building nods in his garage or his mom's basement, the odds of you getting a warranty on a 5-figure device, pretty bad. That's it, man. If you need any help, reach out to us via email at warhammerarmaments@gmail.com. That's warhammerarmaments, plural, @gmail.com. There's other companies you can go to. You don't have to reach out to us. Again, I don't profess to be some night vision guru, but one guy who's very knowledgeable is Cody Bashaw at Nightfall Optics. He will never do you wrong. He's a solid cat, and I trust him implicitly, let's just say that. Steve Gibbons is a friend of mine. He's been in the business almost 30 years. He's at US Night Vision. Another guy that you can go to and get, honest, straight, solid advice. No bullshit. And he has a technician that works with him that has been in this industry at a level that most people could only dream about, myself included. And, those are two people that I can absolutely vouch for. And I've done millions of dollars of business, money going into them and out to me both ways, referrals, etc. Needed intensifiers, got intensifiers. Never had a single hiccup, ever, in years of doing this. So Nightfall Optics is a company that can totally get you squared away. Yes, they're kind of our competition, but at the same time, we all make a living. And this is Cody eats, breathes, and sleeps night vision. That's what he does. But yeah, so you can reach out to him at, I believe it's info@nightfalloptics.com or sales@nightfalloptics.com. You can Google them, but in US Night Vision, they're a big facility out in California. They've been there for 30-something years, I believe, since the 90s anyway. So those are two companies that are absolutely rock solid. They don't do, gimmicky sales shit. They just shoot straight and give it to you like it is. And you'll never buy a device that you have a problem with from either one of them. So, in conclusion, have a great night. And that's that. But again, don't get hung up on the wheel with the whole, I got to have high FOM, because that's bullshit. You should have decent FOM, but that is only one of like 4 or 5 other critically important specs, some of which are way more important than FOM. Signal to noise ratio, also known as SNR, and EBI are 2 very important things. Photocathode sensitivity. But yeah, you get the point. So enough said. Have a good night.